I love entertaining and throwing parties. I like to feed people. I like to just pamper them. But as time has went by and my body has gotten full of more and more pain and a little bit more weakness, I've had to change the way I do things. Can I host Thanksgiving dinner this year? This sounds like a monumental task. And honestly, it's not something I've done in a lot of years. Maybe you have a physical disability or just a little bit of aging and some pain in your body. We can use our illpower to still do some of the things we used to do before our bodies got sick. And I'm gonna show you how to do it. Okay, guys, the power is in the preparation. A few weeks before your event, you just need to sit down and start a plan. So right now, I'm in my Cozy Family app where I keep my calendar, recipes, notes, and lists, and I'm gonna get ready for this event I have coming up. You can also just use pen and paper. However you wanna do it is fine. But real quick, I'm gonna show you some of my lists so that can give you inspiration for planning your event. All right, so we are in the Cozy app. This is the home page. We've got our calendar. The event is coming up on the calendar. In the lists, I have groceries in one section, shopping, right up here. And then the other section is to do right up here. I started with a to-do list, and I actually labeled it Thanksgiving host list, and I just started planning out some of the chores and things that we need to do and sort of like spread them out day by day. Now, what I can do later is just change this name of this to host list, and next time, maybe I do this again next year, or maybe I do it on the 4th of July. I already have a list of what I need to do, and I don't have to start a new one from scratch. Okay, so let's get going on some of this, and let me get you some tips. Okay, before we get started on individual tasks, I just want to remind you that illpower means we master the art of shortcuts. Sometimes it's hard for us to do a lot of walking around the house. Maybe it's hard to do bending over and things like that. So you just want to think about how you're moving about your house and how your body works on a daily basis. So for me, to be able to get more tasks done, I need to save my energy and save on some steps so that I don't get too tired. So what I usually do is take a basket or a bag, like a canvas bag with me into the room I'm working in. And if I have something that needs put in a different room, rather than running back and forth like I used to do before my illness, I put it in a basket and do it later. That really helps. Now, you might also have a 2-story house like I do, which makes it really hard. Now, my husband will tell you, these stairs are always full of stuff. And that's because I can't just take the thing, go upstairs, put it away, and come back down a million times a day. It's just not feasible for me. So I set it on the stairs, and we both know when we go up the stairs, grab an item and take it with you. So I'm already going upstairs. I'm not going out of my way and making extra trips when I don't need to. And those are the kinds of things that you want to be doing in order to conserve your energy and reduce your pain levels when you're doing things like planning for an event or just in your daily life, cleaning your house and whatnot. Another thing that's really handy is to just have little organizers like this with the items that you need, again, to save you steps. So rather than going to the kitchen and bending down and getting under the kitchen sink every time I need a cleaning product, I keep stuff in this basket and just bring it in the room with me. So go into a room, bring this, bring a bag or a basket to put extra items in, and within 15 minutes, you can get a room done and save a lot of time. So just make sure you're thinking about those shortcuts as you're moving about and getting ready for your event. Okay, the kitchen. We're obviously preparing to feed people. This was an accident, but a few weeks ago, I actually reorganized the kitchen, and you can catch that video on our channel. It worked out really well. I didn't know that I was going to be hosting dinner or cooking or anything like that, but I'm really glad that it turned out the way it did. So if your kitchen is a disaster, which they all get that way, the drawers get fuller and fuller, you can't open them, you can't operate. It's not going to conserve your energy to work in a space that's messy and you can't find anything. So maybe think about cleaning up and organizing the kitchen and having the things that you need ready in advance. All right, let's move on to preparing for the guests. I know that my guests are going to be staying overnight. We have several rooms in our house, but we don't have several rooms with beds. So we need to be thinking about where we're going to put these people to sleep. This room is not used for sleeping, but it'll fit a twin size air mattress. So I just want to make sure I find the air mattress and get it down here. And then, do I have bedding and do I have sheets? I actually just gave away our sheets, so I just picked up a cheap set to cover this bed for a guest down here in this room. We did this a couple weeks in advance just to make sure we have everything we need. That way, we're not rushing around at the last minute and having to purchase a bunch of stuff. Maybe you have another space of your house that is sort of closed off and not used very often. That's sort of what this room is. One half of it is our YouTube studios, which are a disaster. We're going to ignore that. The other half of this room just had a whole bunch of stuff shoved in the corner. I need a queen size air mattress to go in here. What I don't need is the person on that air mattress to see the dead flies that were underneath the air conditioner and all the stuff that was piled up. That's not going to be comfortable for them. But luckily, I thought a few weeks ahead of time and added this onto my list. You know, sometimes you just have to shove stuff into a closet, and that's kind of what I did here. And guess what? That's okay. It's fine if you can't do it all. Shove it in a closet, throw a blanket over it, whatever you need to do. But again, make sure you find the bed and the bedding ahead of time to be sure you have it. Again, we're talking about a couple weeks in advance, making sure we have these things on our list and that we're doing them spread out in a timely manner in a way that our bodies can handle. Short spurts, breaks, maybe one day we can't do anything, maybe another day we can work over half of the day. But if you have a list you're working off of, it's gonna be fine. And finally, maybe you do have a spare bedroom. Hooray! But guess what? My house was built in 1851. It produces its own dirt. I'm telling you. And again, our children are grown. We do not have kids at home anymore. So some of these rooms are literally closed off. We don't need to heat them. We don't need to cool them. So just be thinking about that ahead of time. You probably want to refresh the bedding, open up the room, and get some airflow in here. Again, put it on your list. Another thing to think about is kids. Are you going to have kids at your dinner? Do you already have kids at your house? We don't. So something I want to think about is, one, are they going to be safe? So like the medicine box I have sitting over here by the stairs probably doesn't need to be left out just in case. A toddler might think it's candy. You never know. So make sure you keep your medicine up in the top of a closet or something out of the way. Another thing is my physical therapy area. Look at this place. It looks like a playground. Kids come over here and freak out. Like, it's basically jungle gyms. I mean, we have an inversion table you can hang upside down on. Of course you want to play on that. We have my walker. Yeah, you want to push each other on this. We have the treadmill. Not safe at all. We'll probably actually put it up. It folds up so they don't even have the opportunity to get on it. And then we just have to tell them, don't get on the stretching machine. But to distract them from all of this, what I plan to do is use this whole middle part as a little fun gaming area. So we're gonna try to distract them to keep them safe, but we also need to think about keeping them busy. I don't have a toy room here. I don't have children for them to play with. So I just plan on like throwing a bunch of pillows everywhere, making it look like a fun and cozy place, and then just setting out a bunch of games for them to play. Good ones are these boxes of jokes, if they can read, because this will take up tons of time for them to go through, and they're practicing reading. So it's great. So just be thinking about the ages of people that you have and make sure what you're prepared. And how do you be prepared? Putting it on the list. Preparation is willpower. All right, we're heading in to the final week. Let's get finished. Hey guys, it is Thanksgiving dinner time. So we are feeding 10 people and 4 dogs. Dinner starts in 2 hours, and I'm just gonna take you on a little tour of what we have done and what we've got ready to go, and just give you the rest of our pointers. Here's the table. I had it, the centerpieces set, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, kind of thinking about that. Ironed the napkins, made sure all the silverware was clean just this morning because we barely have enough. And then just today, a little bit ago, we set up the appetizer table. And this is my husband, Jim. Say hi, Jim.
Hi, guys.
Hey, can you bring out my appetizer tray?
Yep.
So to save time, I did go ahead and purchase a couple of the items already cut. And I actually have a really great shortcut for the Thanksgiving meal that I had to work on, because there's no way I can stand up for hours and hours and cook from scratch.
Right.
Even though I'm an amazing cook, actually. So let's have a look at this tray. So this is something that I prepared yesterday and bought the items earlier in the week. And I just made it the size that we could put into the refrigerator. So just really simple stuff that you can pre-purchase, already cut, and that saves a lot of time. And all of this is like that, actually. And if you just set it out pretty, it looks great. We have the pumpkin dip.
Pumpkin dip.
Grab that. Also, that's my shortcut for pumpkin pie, because I'm a great cook, but I'm not a great baker. So we have pumpkin fluff dip in a pumpkin. And I made this the other day, and it actually is better the longer that it sets. And then we just have cookies and crackers instead of pie. Now, Jim, tell us about this turkey.
So the turkey is actually pre-cooked.
Yes.
And it comes from Whole Foods.
Yes.
So all we have to do is warm it up. And they gave some little instructions for some rubs. You can put whatever spices you want on it, but all it basically is some olive oil, some salt, some paprika, and some garlic powder, and just mixed it up and rubbed it all over it. And then we just stick it in the oven,
Yeah.
warm it up, hour and a half, it's ready to go.
Yeah, that's 10-pound turkey to feed, it says 8 servings. So we're cutting that time in half, I mean, way more in half, right? I actually decided to purchase the entire Thanksgiving meal, almost, except for the noodles, from Whole Foods. So all we have to do is warm it up in the pots back here, put it in the serving dishes, and we're good to go. I've got it timed out that we started 2 hours ahead of time, and that's mostly just for the turkey and some setup. And then everything else will be in the last 30 minutes, and that's all I have to do. And I feel like that's an ill-power genius moment, is what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
It's pretty good. So I'll show you what we got. Okay, here's my little menu of how long each thing takes, and then the things that I need to do myself. So I got the meal for 8, which came with the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the gravy, the cranberry sauce, and green beans. And then I got the southern sides, which gives us green bean casserole, maple sweet potatoes, macaroni and cheese, more cranberry sauce, and I believe more gravy. So look how easy that's going to be. It's just reheating it. But I think that it was made yesterday when I picked it up. I mean, it's like freshly made. It's not been, I don't think it's been just sitting on a shelf somewhere. So it should be really, really good. And maybe once everybody gets here and we sit down, we'll see what everybody thinks about what we've been able to pull together with one able body and one ill power body. I mean, I feel pretty proud. How about you?
You should feel proud.
I feel good. It's taken me a couple weeks of planning. You guys know all about it. Preparation is the key, and we'll check back in later. Guys, this is for my ill power channel, and I followed how I was able to pull this dinner off and get the house ready. What do you guys think about it? How does it look?
It looks amazing.
Looks great. It's beautiful.
So I win. That's the end. Have a happy holidays.